Leading the BBC Any Questions? Panel, Mr. Dimbleby argued the government had been sitting around for 2 years while the EU and UK businesses demanded them to make concrete decisions on Brexit. The BBC host added no progress had been made since last August government's proposals to the EU, which he claimed resulted in a deadlock. Mr. Dimbleby said, "You do look like a bunch of incompetents, don't you? Sitting around after 2 years, arguing the toss, shouting the odds in public, while the EU says please get on with it. Businesses say please get on with it, and essentially the bid you has in both the options that you put on the table so far, last August, don't work." Get a Brexit news. Boris Johnson and Theresa May clashed over customs union proposals. Tensions within the cabinet sparked this week after Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson labeled Prime Minister Theresa May customs partnership proposal crazy. Mr. Johnson sparked anger after he argued Mrs. May's customs partnership option, where Britain would collect taxes on behalf of the EU, would create a whole new web of bureaucracy. He said, "It's totally untried and would make it very, very difficult to do free trade deals. If you have the new customs partnership, you have a crazy system whereby you end up collecting the tariffs on behalf of the EU at the UK frontier. You do look like a bunch of incompetents, don't you?" Jonathan Dimbleby, the Prime Minister, has since divided her bickering cabinet to discuss the options for maintaining trade and a frictionless border in Ireland with the EU after the UK leaves the bloc next year. Ministers failed to reach a decision at a crunch meeting last week. The cabinet met to discuss whether to agree on Mrs. May's customs partnership idea or go with the maximum facilitation method, known as MaxFac, favored by Brexiteers. But Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and Chancellor Philip Hammond have not been placed on either team to work on the different solutions. Remoaner, Dominic Grieve, the Conservative MP for Beaconsfield, called for the Foreign Secretary to resign. Mr. Grieve said, "It's certainly undesirable in my view that, when you are having cabinet discussions about the best way forwards, members of the cabinet should use the press to articulate their own view in the terms in which Boris Johnson has done it. I have an old-fashioned view of what cabinet responsibility entails, which is that the discussions in government on any given matter are confidential until the time is reached when the government have a collective position. If you don't like the collective decision, then at that stage you've got to resign." In a scathing assessment of the Foreign Secretary's behavior, Mr. Grieve concluded, "I don't think he is in any way prohibited by normal propriety in government.